Hello, everybody. Welcome to Live with the team for Lunch and Learn Live today.
Hi, everyone.
If you are listening or joining in, be sure to give us a shout out in the live chat. That way we can see you and know that you're here. And yeah, Carissa, what are we going to talk about today?
I don't know. I was just thinking that also. It's beautiful in New York today. I don't know how it is by you, but it is a beautiful, beautiful spring day. So if you haven't been outside, get out and ground because, the ground was still a little cold, but it felt really good with the sunshine hitting you.
Yeah, you guys, I think we, we don't often stress enough. As someone in one of our Facebook, I think in the Facebook group or something, made a comment. I'm like, oh, Carissa and I are working on this.
I think it was Melissa.
Yep. Not stressing enough the real importance of getting connected to the ground, getting out into the sun. We've become so sun phobic, like, oh my gosh, I can't go outside unless I'm slathered with chemical sunscreen. And the truth is, first of all, a lot of those sunscreens are loaded with chemicals that are not good. Right. Yeah. And the second thing is when we slather up with all that sunscreen, we're now not letting any of those sun's rays actually touch our skin, which is not the way that we are designed. Now, I'm not saying go out and go stand on the beach, totally naked for 3 hours at the peak of the day, because you will burn, right? There is like a line of common sense, I should say, right? That comes with making sure that we're getting in the right things at the right time. But yeah, we're so disconnected. Most people don't touch the ground, like could be weeks, days, months, especially people who live in the city and aren't anywhere in contact like with the grass. And that wreaks havoc on the body. So I know my practice is I like to go out and be outside on the ground, connected and with the sun as the sun is rising. Right. And when the sun's actually rising, you can look at the sun and get those direct rays, which are important because we're getting in the bad stuff all day, like sitting right here, right? All the blue light coming in. I should put my blue light glasses on, but I'm going to get better at that. I'm going to start wearing them.
I think there's something you can download too. I was looking into it on your computer to kind of block that. But then, of course, it's on your cell phone, it's on your TV, it's kind of everywhere. And also to let people know, if I haven't told them already, there is an app. It's called D-Minder, and you can install it on your phone and you just put in your location and it lets you know the best times to go out into the sun where you won't be burning your skin.
Love that.
Yeah.
Love that. Can you drop that? Just drop that. Let's drop that in the comments. I know somebody said hello. We can't see who you are. I think you have to like allow the software to see your name in order for us to see your name. I think it prompts you when you leave a message. But whoever that is, hello. I know there's a bunch more of you out there because I can see you. I can see the number here, but say hello. Tell us who you are, how your weekend was, what's happening, what questions, you guys, this is really for you. So what questions do you have? What's coming up for you? What can we help get addressed for you? Carissa, can you go directly into the chat there and put the link in, or no?
I don't see.
You have a bar on the right that says live chat.
It just says hold on. It's hidden here.
Technology, you guys. We're figuring out all the technology.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, perfect. If you just want to drop that in there for everyone so that they have it. And there are, you're 100% right. There are multiple different blue light blocker apps that you can put on your screens themselves. I do still like the glasses because it's that extra layer, but I always have them embedded. You guys, you can do a search. I know there's different apps for whether it's a Mac or a PC or a tablet or an iPhone or an Android or whatever, all the different technology things. But if you go into whatever the store is and just look for blue light filter, you'll find some different apps there that you can install.
So it doesn't seem to be letting me. I could see the chat, but there's no like chat box on my end.
Okay, well, tell me what to type.
It's just D-M-I-N-D-E-R.
DMinder app.
Yep. And it has a picture of the sun on it, and it's really great. Like, it tells you when to start your sun exposure, when to end your sun exposure. It is really, really a helpful app.
Okay. I put that in there for everybody, so you should have it. It's not showing me that it's posted. There it goes. Okay, someone said weekend was good here. They worked in the garden, played in the dirt. Oh my gosh, yes. Hi, Jen. Working in the garden and playing in the dirt makes such a difference. I don't know why it didn't prompt that. I don't know. But yeah, getting in the dirt is really important. That's why I said just like being connected and grounded to the earth. And when we're gardening, we're automatically going ahead and making sure that we're doing that. So that's great. Good. So I think, Carissa, let's talk a little bit about creating new habits and really honing them in, because like this is another new habit. Like, okay, I'm going to go and get grounded every day. Like, how do you suggest that people go in and create new habits that are sustainable, so it just doesn't become like the next thing that they're throwing darts at the dartboard, and then it just kind of like falls off, which is what happens with a lot of things, I think.
Sure. I'm a huge fan of lists. I like the reward that I get with, checking something off. I tend to do them in my phone, so I get reminders for them. And then I also have a calendar that I like to do them, because I like to cross them out.
Yeah, crossing them out is good. I was listening to, so for those of you who don't know who David Goggins is, he's like this hard, bad, won't use the 3-letter word here, but he is, that's who he is. He's just, man. Yeah. The man is incredible. He is intense, really intense. Right. So, my boys are into dirt bike racing and competing, and my husband and I were always like, well, hey, when you're at the track, you train, but when you're at home, guess what? You still need to train. And they're usually pretty good, but as trying to be good parents, you want to make sure that they're always getting in all of that intensity that they really need to be successful. Because the difference between someone who's really successful and someone who's not is the person who's consistent and who's just going, right? It's that 5 minutes of extra practice. It's that 5 minutes or whatever that makes or breaks the difference between success or not a lot of the times, right? That's what it comes down to. So as we were on our long drive again this weekend, we were listening to Can't Hurt Me, which is David Goggins' first book. And by the way, it's a pretty hardcore book. So it is not necessarily, I'm not advocating that children listen to it. My boys are teenagers. So, and we talk about the content and things like that of the book as we're listening. So I feel okay about that. But he had this, one of the challenges in his book is like, take your goals and put them up on the sticky mirror where you like see yourself every day, and every day get in the mirror and have a conversation with yourself, right? Like stating the goals and being honest with yourself. Like, where did you reach your goals? Where did you fail your goals? He talks a lot in that area of the book about how we have become soft as a society, right? Where we're not holding ourselves accountable. And so, he uses the sticky notes on his mirror and his daily face-to-face conversation with himself as a place to really be real. And then as a place to continue making sure. And so think about the satisfaction, like checking off the box, the satisfaction of like ripping that sticky off the mirror, and then putting your next sticky off. But I love that because it's that visual reminder. And I think when we have visual reminders, it makes it so much easier. And I know how many of you are using electronic, like I think most people today, they're like electronic. And electronics, I think, are good for reminders, but there is something so different about that pen and paper, those things in front of you, like on a daily basis, that are not just on a screen somewhere.
Yeah.
How do you guys feel? You guys who are listening, how do you find these things, to help you create change, bring change into place, and make sure that it sticks? What do you use? What do you find helps you be successful? How about you, Carissa? What else do you do?
Well, those are pretty much my two go-tos because I also need something visual. I've never talked to myself in the mirror in this respect. I've done mirror work, but never in this respect. So I may pick that up. I like that a lot.
Yes.
Um, but I know that if I can't visually see it or visually mark it off, it kind of just gets put to the back.
Yeah.
And then I also feel like it like is breaking a contract that I've made with myself. So it gives me
Yes.
that like, funky energy. And then
Yes.
I'm not too motivated to keep doing it. So I tried to never rely on motivation because to me that's just, you know, emotion that kind of just is up and down. So
Oh my
just
gosh. Yeah.
disciplined, and then it almost just becomes second nature, you know,
Yeah.
like grounding has been something that I've been doing for years, and I
Mm-hmm.
kind of just go up and down with it. I don't tend to do it in the cold weather. I am getting a little bit better because I'm starting to respect the seasons a little more.
Me neither. Full transparency.
Yeah, so it's a little bit harder in the winter, but spring is a great time, I think, to bring about these types of
Yeah.
changes. So yeah, I've just been working on that, and it just felt so amazing to do today. So I was hopeful that other people were doing it too, because I think about the community all the time. Like, I wonder if they're out there doing this. I hope they are. I wonder if Danielle's
I
doing
know.
it.
We should probably like get on to the Facebook private group and be like, hey guys, we're out here this morning. I know people are sometimes really good at that. It kind of makes me cringe a little bit, but maybe, well,
Or
maybe I'll
maybe we
get
could
there.
just put posts in to be like, you know, here's your reminder to ground. Do it now.
Yeah, I went out for my morning run here, and where we are right now, there's a lot of horses, but they're like wild horses.
That's
So
so cool.
instead of fully doing my run, there was one horse that came over, and I was like, okay, and I ended up spending like 20 minutes just petting this horse that is like not a pettable, it's like a rodeo horse kind of thing. So yeah,
That's
Karen says,
really
I'm gonna
cool,
go
though.
now, go out there now and hug a tree. Yeah, hug the tree. Absolutely. So much
Yep.
wisdom and power that comes from the base of that tree. Absolutely. But
Mm-hmm.
you said something that was really, really important. Um, and I want to highlight it. You said you don't always go by motivation. And I
Mm-hmm.
think that that's so like such a good point because sometimes we get down on ourselves. Or sometimes we confuse like motivation and willpower, like we collapse them like
Mm-hmm.
as if they're the same thing.
Yeah.
And the thing about motivation is like when we're in the right headspace, when things are going really well,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
when we're like motivated, right? When we've got like
Yeah.
that vision. But the minute like things don't go our way, or the minute that things fall apart, or sometimes if they get hard, then that motivation like tanks. And so if we
Mm-hmm.
always just go on motivation, then we don't get anywhere, right? That's where we've really got to bring in that discipline is what it is. It's like
Yeah.
doing things even when we don't want to do them because we said that we were going to do them.
Yeah. And that's where like, that's where your why comes in, you know?
Yeah.
So even like writing that out and you can condense it into something shorter. I have some that are just like a sentence that I post. So, and the ones that I have are really meaningful to me because I can
Mhm.
just feel like all the anxiety kind of wash over. Like when I say it, I'm like, huh, okay, I can do this. This is great.
Yeah.
So find something that works for you that kind of gives you that empowered feeling.
Yeah. Well, that's just the thing, right? As we often aren't we often aren't connected to what that why really is in those moments.
Mm-hmm.
And when we lose that connection, that's kind of when we begin that spiral, right? And things become out of control. And then also, this is something that I was reflecting on personally this morning, right? Like my life really is about others. And so I'm looking at and exploring, like, it's a really interesting place to be because I love just giving to other people. And there's a part of me that is starting to realize, like, okay, well, wait a second. We've really got to make sure that we're bringing in that self love. Right. And so I'm telling you guys this because I want you to think about your whys, maybe in two different areas. because there's that why of, I take care of my health because I don't want my kids to ever have to take care of me.
Mm-hmm.
I take care of my health because I want to be a good example for my family. But there's the other side of that why of like, well, I also take care of my health because I want to be able to see the sunrises. I want to be able to go hiking in the mountains. I want to be able to run down the street. I want to be able to get up off the floor and not feel like I'm in pain,
Yeah.
right? I want to be able to look in the mirror and feel confident about myself. And so I noticed for me, like when I start to focus on my why, I start to focus on all of those other external whys. And
Mm.
so I want to just invite everyone to highlight and note that there's those external whys, but there's also the whys that are there for you. And it's like it's not selfish. It's part of our, as we grow spiritually as human beings, like so does everybody else around us. And so does our own impact.
Yeah.
What do you guys who are listening, what are you hearing in this? What kind of thoughts are popping into your head about this? What's your why? Put your whys in there. Both sides, right? The internal why and the external why. How about
Mm-hmm.
for you, Carissa?
Well, I relate to you very much about the external why. Um, Internal, I also, you know, I don't want to land myself into a place where I'm sick down the road. I
Mm-hmm.
don't want to land myself into a place where I'm reliant upon, doctors and pharmaceuticals. And I just don't ever want to land myself there. And, watching my mother go through dementia and strokes and stuff like that. And she wasn't very old.
Yeah.
Like that's a fear for me. And so sometimes it can be very easy just to like push that out and be like, no, 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 this pizza looks delicious. But when I play the tape through and really get connected with what I'm experiencing, then that pizza doesn't look so good, or whatever it is. Pizza
Yeah.
is just not great for me.
Yeah.
It inflames me a lot.
Yeah.
But so just really being present with
Yeah.
my why and doing it sometimes several times a day.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I love that. Good. How about for you guys who are watching? What's your why? Go ahead and type it into the chat box here. We only have another couple minutes because I've got an appointment right back to back after this in just 4 minutes here. So, are any questions, you guys, that are coming up? Go ahead and type them in so that we can get them answered for you. But I think that this is a big deal. And I mean, I invite all of you, just kind of feeding off the conversation that Carissa and I are having, is yeah, put the sticky notes on your bathroom mirror, on your refrigerator, wherever it is that you inevitably go multiple times a day, your car visor,
Mm-hmm.
that has your why on there, and then give yourself some structures for accountability. I really do. I do like the sticky note goals on the mirror. That is something that I'm going to implement because just having the book isn't enough, and then sometimes you don't look at the book. Like if I write it down in the book, sometimes the book stays closed the whole
Correct.
day.
Yeah.
Whereas if you are looking in the mirror every morning while you're brushing your teeth, then you're gonna see it every morning.
Yeah.
And you guys, what we're aware of, what we bring our energy to is what we create, right? Is what
Mm-hmm.
gets manifested out into the world. So if we want to be more successful in different areas of our lives, then we need to bring our attention, to those areas. If we want to be focused on our why and really be able to be grounded in that. So when the motivation wanes, right, there is another place for us to draw that inspiration and power from. Having that front and center so that you're aware of it on a regular basis, that makes a huge difference.
It
Huge
does.
difference.
Like you were talking about earlier, the consistency. It's all about retraining. So
Yeah.
having those notes that helps retrain, consistently doing that helps retrain. We didn't get ourselves here because, we've been training ourselves since we were born, basically. Someone else
Yeah.
was training us. So it's important to kind of take ownership of that and take our power back and be able to do that. And it's so simple, right? A lot of times we think it has to be so hard because life has been so hard.
Yes.
But it's these little things that are so meaningful that make such a positive impact, and they're not hard.
No. And you guys, if you're listening to this and you're feeling like, oh my gosh, this feels overwhelming, like just take a step back. Like
Yeah.
wherever we are in our journeys and our evolution, it's like exactly where it is that we're supposed to be. And so there is like a gentle balance between that compassion that you have with yourself and then the stand that you have for yourself, right? And you want to bring those two into balance because that's what's going to help you really be able to move forward.
Great point.
Balancing. Yeah.
Yeah. Great point. Because like the community, that's where I turn to. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like I have friends in this. I have you. Like I have
Yeah.
client. Like it's just community helps pull you through. Because I could
Oh,
never do it
absolutely.
because there are plenty of days where I'm like, oh God, I don't feel like doing this.
Yeah, well, you've got to have somebody or a group of people that you can be like, oh my gosh, guys, I am struggling this morning. I do not want
Yes.
to. And people who are gonna be like, hey, get ahead, get up. I know it's early, but just go for that little extra walk. Just do
Mm-hmm.
that little extra thing. Just go that one step forward so that you're moving in that right direction because that's
Yeah.
so important. Yeah.
Huge difference.
Yeah, someone messaged in, yeah, community building, 100%.
Mm-hmm.
All right, you guys, I am off to go visit with our next South Bay Wellness client here. We're so glad to have you here. Guys, put in like when you see the thing up in social media, like put in what else do you want to hear? What do you guys want us to talk about? What is of interest to you? What questions do you want to have addressed? Because this is for you, you guys. This is all for you. So we're not showing you pictures of our every single dinner plates or taking pictures as we're doing all those different things and putting reels everywhere because it hasn't called to us authentically yet. But we want to do this for you guys so that you do have these opportunities and this exposure. So,
Yeah.
yeah, you're welcome and happy Monday to you too. All right, everyone. We'll talk to
Bye.
you